everyone. ThinkCloudly welcomes you all in today's webinar.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good evening. Yeah. So I see people from majorly three countries, UK, Canada, and USA. I think some people are going to join from Nigeria and some people are going to join from different part of Europe as well. Yeah.
All right. So without wasting much time, I guess now we should start with the webinar. Okay. So welcome, everyone. Hope you and your families are doing well. And thank you for joining us in this exciting open house. I, Diksha, and my friend Naman, we are the host of today's session. So today we are presenting a sneak peek into the future, as today's session is all about that how could you fast track your journey to land six-figure IT jobs in just 45 days? Well, you all might be wondering that how is this possible 45 days? So yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible in 45 days. So we'll be discussing this and gonna give you, some practical tips that you can use in your own journey. We'll also take questions throughout the webinar. So please feel free to type your answers in the chat box. So, okay, let's start further. So Naman, what do you think? Like, is it possible to get jobs in 45 days?
Absolutely, Diksha. There are students who have proven this. You know, when we were planning this webinar in past few weeks, we always had this question from internal team that is it really possible to land a job in 45 days and having no IT background, but still you can actually get into 45 days. In most ideal cases, it is possible. And definitely we are going to discuss about this, that how someone can actually plan it. So what do you think, guys? Do you think, or do you want to understand what's the procedure? How can we actually land a job in 45 days? Are you really excited, everyone?
Yes, everyone, please let us know in the chat box. Let's see who is more enthusiastic today.
Great. I'm seeing some of the responses coming up in the chat box. Yes.
Okay, all right. So now without further ado, let's start with today's agenda. Okay, so in today's agenda, we're gonna let you know about us, that what is ThinkCloudly all about. Then we're gonna welcome our guest. Then we're gonna move head towards the webinar offer. Then the main topic in which we're having the webinar today is about the six-figure job hack. And after that, we'll be having some exciting offers, the quiz time. And at last, we're going to let you have the Q&A session for sure.
Awesome. So guys, who is excited to hear the guest journey? Like who is excited to hear about, about someone who has actually made into IT? Are you guys really want to understand and want to see that how someone has actually made it into IT? Then I think Emmanuel is someone who has actually made it possible, having no background in IT, but today he has job offer from IT organization. So I would like to welcome Emmanuel. So Diksha, are you there?
Yes.
So, yeah, over to you, Diksha.
Yeah, so now we're gonna welcome our guest Emmanuel, who was one of the students from ThinkCloudly who achieved his path in the field of DevOps. He's gonna let us know about his journey, that how he achieved his goals, what obstacles he faced. So let's listen from Emmanuel itself. So everyone, please welcome Emmanuel. Hey Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Emmanuel, I can hear you.
Good. Well, good day, everyone, and good day to you, Naman, and the entire ThinkCloudly team. I hope you all are doing great today. Like you can see on the screen, and already introduced by the organizers of this meeting today, my name is Emmanuel Agbo, and I'm originally from Nigeria, but now I live in the United States. So I find this as a big privilege and honor to be invited as a guest speaker for today, WebEx. And like earlier mentioned, I would be, speaking on my journey so far into the tech field, my challenges, and telling you some few stories that helped me, which I believe we also help all of us here as well. So I would think I will start, by telling you about my journey. Many years ago, while I was still back in Nigeria, I always had the dream of becoming a doctor. But along the line, as I grow, as my taste begin to change, I thought it wise that at that point I should go into the field of computer science. So I searched for admission and I went back to school and I got my national diploma in computer science. At that point, I was just thinking about, studying computer science and then maybe become, a computer technician, just the basic level, of being a computer scientist. I never thought of going into the cloud or into the DevOps or into the automation process of the tech industry. So when I moved, to the United States, my quest, my taste for becoming more grounded in the tech industry, begin to grow even more wider. So I went back to school again and I enrolled in a community college, where I picked up a major in the information, technology with concentration in cybersecurity. At this point, many of you or some people we asked and said, oh, you had a national diploma in computer science already, so why are you going back to start from the scratch? But here is my reason for doing that. The reason I went back again to get an associate degree despite my having a national diploma is because I wanted to be more grounded in this field. I want to know more. I want to start all over and know more so that when eventually I get into the job or into the field, I should not be tossed here and there, not knowing what to do. So that was the reason I started all over. So at this time that I was still in school studying for my associate degree, I have a lot of friends who are already into DevOps, already into the cloud, already into the cybersecurity industry. And they keep telling me, hey, Emmanuel, while we know you are in school and you're studying information technology, but we still want you to see if you can get these skills in DevOps engineering and cloud engineering. At first, I never gave it a listening ear, but as time goes on, many of my friends kept pushing me and said, no, this is the right way for you to go. Whatever you are doing right now, it is still good, but for the future of how the world is evolving and how everything is beginning to move towards the cloud environment, would you just try this? I said, okay, at that point, I was still struggling. I do not have money to pay for classes in my regular school and then pay for classes to go for DevOps class and all of the cloud engineering classes. So I asked one of my friends if he had some materials that I can teach myself with. And he said yes. And then he sent me some of the DevOps materials. Can you all hear me still?
Yes, yes.
Can I?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We are listening to you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. So he sent me these materials and I started training myself. started doing all the labs, started watching the videos attached, for each of the labs. At this point, it became so daunting for me because time management, I had to share my time between the job I was doing at that time and going to classes and then creating time to attend to these DevOps labs. But then I kept pushing. I said, well, I would not just come to the US, go to school, graduate, and then begin to look for a job that pays just the minimum wage. I said, no, I would rather spend the sleepless night aiming for the high paying jobs. That was my motivation. So even when I am tempted to jump in my bed, when my bed is calling me to come sleep, I would say, no, I have a target. I have a goal ahead of me. So why not push harder? Do 1 or 2 labs before you go to bed. So that was how I kept training myself in all of these labs, setting up my cloud environment, doing all that I needed to do. Like I said, at some point, I felt discouraged because of the stress involved. And sometimes I would just shut my computer. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. But while I'm away doing something else, there is a voice calling me back to it. I said, no, you can do this. You are a strong guy. You can do this. And I will run back to my system again. I will turn it on and I will keep pushing. I will keep pushing. I will keep pushing. Whenever I try to provision any infrastructure or do any of the labs and I get confused, thankfully enough to one of my friends who is also my namesake, Emmanuel, he also took some classes, some Kubernetes classes with ThinkCloudly as well. He has always been there for me, and I will call upon him. Hey, guy, I don't know this. I'm getting confused. I can't go past through this stage. Can you help me out? And as a brother and a friend he will drive down to my house. And when he cannot drive down, he will make sure to set up a Zoom meeting with me and he will troubleshoot with me. He will show me how to get through that stage. And that brings me back to advising the student, even though I'm going to go into that later on, but that brings me back to advising the student. If you want to succeed in any field, especially in the field of tech, cloud, cybersecurity, please try as much as possible to surround yourself with like-minded friends, friends that are heading to the same directions, friends that are already having the same skills you are trying to acquire. Please try to surround yourself with such friends. So Emmanuel will help me through the stages and then I will get it done. At some point, I became more confident and I was able to deploy some infrastructure, some processes myself without having to call on anybody until I finished those lab while still in school for my associate degree. I graduated with my associate degree, and within 2 months, I enrolled again in another school for my bachelor's degree because I do not want to give it any space at all because time is of essence to me. So I went back to school and getting a bachelor's degree in computer information system, which is still in the same line with what I did earlier and in the same line with whatever I need to do in the future in the tech industry, while still training and getting myself set up for this high paying job. So at some point I say, yeah, I have my friend Emmanuel who is guiding, who is coaching me, but I still needed to be in a classroom where I can get a feedback from instructor, where I can ask instructors questions, where I can get the real world, the real life experience one-on-one with instructor. So I sat on my own and I went online. I started searching for some of these organizations that teach, tech skills, and I started reading their review. And ThinkCloudly popped up. I went through the review of the ThinkCloudly and it stood out to me. Then I reached out to the phone number I have at the time listed on their website. Thankfully enough, I got a response, have a conversation. They ran me down through their benefit, what they do, how they've been set up and all of that. And it pricked my interest. So I signed up again with ThinkCloudly to get a more in-depth knowledge about DevOps and cloud engineering. And thankfully enough, ThinkCloudly assigned to me a very wonderful instructor. At the start of that class, I think we were about 3 or 4 in the class, but along the line, most of my classmates, dropped, not because they do not have the motivation, but because, one problem or the other, some priorities started springing up and they needed to attend to all of that. So I was the only one left in the class for that particular batch. And every night between the hour of 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., the instructor will be with me. He will coach me, he will teach me, even things that I already knew myself, I will still throw those questions to him and he will make sure to clear my doubts. And at the end of the day, at the end of that class, I became more confident of myself. I can speak boldly about most of the steps, about most of the project anywhere. Then I graduated, from my class with ThinkCloudly, but I was still always in touch with Naman and his team. The reason is because I believe whenever you graduate from an institution, you should always have a link falling back to them, because somehow along your journey, they will still be there to guide you, or they will still be there to be part of your journey. So I've always been in contact with ThinkCloudly and they have never disappointed me. That is how my journey into the tech field went. Yeah, some of you may be asking, or some people may be asking, throughout this period, do you not have challenges? Was it a smooth ride for you? The answer is no. There were a lot of challenges. Challenges like family problem, sometimes siblings, sometimes family, one problem or the other, which is inevitable in every facet of life. But then I knew what my target was. So even though I was attending to family problem, I would still create the time to attend to the project I have. What about time management? Yeah, it was a big problem for me as well, but I still try as much as possible to manage my time, because I've always have, one policy which says that there is no time anywhere. If you want to have the time, then create the time. So I always try as much as possible to create the time for my regular studies, for my family, for recreation, for exercises, for fun, and for my DevOps journey as well. So time is one challenge I have. Family is another challenge I had. Then when it comes to finances, yes, when you were working and you are not getting enough pay, or you are not working at all, and then you needed to go into something that require money, it becomes a challenge. So money was a challenge for me at the time, but I try as much as possible to cut down in most of my billings that are not too important to me. We all know that there are different between needs and wants. So when something is needed, it means you have to get it at that time, else something may happen. But when it is a want, then you can say, well, if I don't buy this pair of shoe today, well, I mean, I may not die. I can buy it later on. So that was how I was cutting down in most of my buildings or things that I actually would wanted naturally, but because there's more need somewhere, so I cut down with them to be able to afford to gather money for what I needed at the time. And thankfully enough to ThinkCloudly, they gave me that flexibility to be able to pay the tuition. So also finances is one of the major challenges I had during my journey as well.
So, Emmanuel,
So
I have a question from like on behalf of someone.
mhm,
So, like, what were the interview challenges? What were the technical challenges in terms of,
yes,
how many job interviews on an average you attended in
okay,
a month? Okay.
okay,
And
yes, I was okay.
okay, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, that was the next point I was going to come. Yeah, when it comes to interview, be rest assured you are going to have a lot of challenges. What do I mean by that? Challenges in terms of discouragement, because whether we like it or not, we are going to be facing a lot of interview. You may be facing like 20 to 30 to 40 interview to 50 interview in a couple of months or even within a month. But you may not even get a call back from one, or you may just get a call back from few, which may cause some discouragement. But I will tell you, friends, when you see they are not calling you back, do not be discouraged. For every interview you are having, for every call you are getting for the first step or for the initial call, you are getting an experience, and it's making you more comfortable. It's making you, build your courage on how to answer question or on how to approach the interview. So when you get initial call or the first stage of the interview and you are not being called back, do not be discouraged. I've had a lot of friends who they will say, oh God, this has happened for a long time. I will never get a job and I'm going to switch to another area and all of that. I have a lot of friends who actually switched because they felt they were not getting a job. But I will tell you, in the tech industry, when you think you know something, there are millions of people out there who know those things before you. So definitely, as you are coming as a freshman or as a fresher into the tech industry, there are going to be a lot of discouragement from the interview. Then when it comes to the technical interview, I'm going to say this to you. Try as much as possible to get your project ready before the interview. That helped me a lot. And how do I mean? If you are getting ready for an interview, read through the job description. As much as you must have known whatever you are being taught from ThinkCloudly or from wherever you had your classes, DevOps engineering have a laid down roadmap to approaching the interview. But it is very important to read thoroughly through the job description and jot down their key point. Try to figure out what key point, what terminologies, what project they are trying to hear from you. That way you can prepare your Word document. When you prepare your Word document, try to channel the project you are going to present to the interviewer in the direction or in line with their job description. For example, if they are looking for an engineer that is very conversant with on-prem migration, where you're going to be leveraging Docker of Kubernetes mostly, when you are handling your project, try as much as possible to talk very well about Kubernetes, about Dockerization. That
Even
way,
sorry to cut you. I have like few questions because we are running short of time, but
mhm,
I'm sorry to cut you. So I
right.
just want to know, like, like if someone is going for the interview, what is the salary range they should ask from the recruiter? That is the most common question, which actually, which all our student, they always get confused that when they talk to recruiter, what is the salary range they can ask for?
Okay. Well, when it comes to the salary range, first of all, I would say you look at the job description. Most of the job description will state their salary range there. If it is stated in their job description, please try to stay within the confines of what they stated. And if they do not state, the salary range in their job description, be logical enough, be considerate enough to know that, okay, you are just coming into the field, and then you should be able to be reasonable with how much you are going to be asking them for. That way, you are not scaring them away. As much as you are not going to demarcate yourself, don't be too high with your salary range. Be within the reasonable range, especially when it comes to the minimum or the defined salary range for DevOps engineering in a particular city or in a particular region. Be within that particular salary range. That way you are not scaring the company away from calling you back, because if a company is reasonable saying, okay, we are looking for junior DevOps engineer or a cloud engineer who is going to be paid between a 90, 100, or a 110 annually, and then you come to the interview and you are telling them 130, 150, definitely they may not call you back, even though you pass the interview, because there's someone else who is ready to take what they are willing to offer. So be reasonable when it comes
Yeah, so
to asking for
sorry,
salary range.
yeah, so sorry to cut you again, but what can be the salary range? Can someone ask for $75 per hour to $80 per hour if he or she is in New York?
Well, it depends. For me, if the role is for a senior DevOps engineer, even though you are not a senior DevOps engineer yet, but you feel you have the capability. If the role is for senior DevOps engineer, I would say yes. But if it is not for senior DevOps engineer, then I would say that is outrageous. Definitely companies would not want to, because I myself had that experience. I asked, there was a particular role I asked for a 70 per hour, and they turned me down. And they gave me the reason right away why they were turning me down, not because I do not answer the question, but because that is not what they want. So
And
if it's for a
yeah.
senior, go for that. If it is for a junior, please bring it down a little bit.
Okay, and Emmanuel, just because a lot of people who have joined here, they had no experience in IT. So were you also someone who had no experience, I mean, in IT, and you were completely fresh? So this is for all of them who are no novice and the beginners.
Yes. Okay, well, I will not say I was completely a novice, because I had already had, experience in computer science by studying the computer science from my home country. I would not say I was completely a novice, but when it comes to the real tech, like getting into the cloud, getting into the DevOps, getting into the software engineering and all of that, I would say that I was a novice, because I never had all of those knowledge. Even though I was studying computer science, I never had all of those knowledge of DevOps engineering and cloud engineering until I met my friends who were actually in the field. So
And
if
yeah,
you are a novice, if you are coming from a different background, well, it is not impossible. With ThinkCloudly, it is not impossible. I have seen many people. ThinkCloudly has transformed from a different background into the tech. And if you're already in the tech industry right now, as the world is evolving, please look out for DevOps engineering, cloud engineering, cybersecurity, and software engineering. That is the best areas I would advise every person to go towards right
and
now.
and Emmanuel, what about the job platforms? So what were the job platforms you were focusing on when you were reaching out to organization in terms of job
Okay.
applications?
Okay. I was reaching out to organization through LinkedIn, um, Monster. I was also reaching out. There are millions of them out there. There are a lot of them out there that I was using, but I discovered they were not actually favoring me. So I channeled my energy towards LinkedIn. And actually, the job I got were actually through LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is very active when it comes to job search. You have your preferences, but for me, I use LinkedIn, and I can testify that, yeah, and I can advise somebody to actually channel towards LinkedIn as well.
Okay, so Emmanuel, this is the last question. I'm so sorry. I know that you have so many stories to tell, and I am very sure that you want our students to be on the track, because many people come to us, they always think it's not possible. So last question for all, for all the audience who have joined. So is it really impossible to land a job? Like if you
No,
don't have any background, is it impossible or is it possible?
it is very, very possible to land a job, especially when you have your training with the right people and when you are consistent and dedicated to what you're doing. It is very possible to land a job. At first, I was thinking it is very impossible, but when I take this dimension and I begin to work on myself and attending more interview, it is very, very possible to land a job within a short period of time, and even a good job at that matter. So it is very possible.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for what you said. I think our audience, they feel very motivated. Even I am inspired today, listening to you, that what background you had and what you actually wanted to do in the life. And today you are able to succeed just because you made some sacrifices at the right time. So what do you think, guys? Do you feel inspired by Emmanuel? Is there anyone who feels inspired? Okay, yes, I think you can see, Emmanuel, that a lot of people, are responding to you in the chat, and they are
Right.
very inspired. And I think thank you so much, on behalf of the complete Think Loudly team, and from all the audiences who are here. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, man, always.
Yeah, definitely we'll again have a talk after this. And yeah, so I am hoping that you'll be here with us afterwards. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I'll be here to the end of the program.
Thank you.
And before I go, I would like to please the students. I am still a student in this organization, and I am still joining for other classes. And I will always encourage you, please try as much as possible to attend your classes. And you see this weekly live project ThinkCloudly is doing, it is very important. That was what helped me in my interview. And programs like this particular one we are in right now, please try not to miss it and try to invite people in there. That may change people's mindset, and then we begin to go into project like this. So thank you. That is what I just wanted to chip in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you. Okay, guys, this is for all the students who are with us. Guys, please, if you are using Android smartphones, like non-Apple devices, you can download our application, which is the mobile application. If you are a student with Think Cloudly, you can access your class sessions on the mobile application. This is the announcement for everyone who is not using the mobile app right now. Feel free to scan this QR, or you can search Think Cloudly on Google Play. You can easily find us. And there are free videos which are available on this application. Go and explore, try something out, suggest your friends to download it. It will really help us. Remember, everyone, if you refer someone, Think Loudly gives a refer bonus of $100. So if in case you are referring your student, please let our admin know so that you can earn $100. Okay. Um, okay, so over to you. And right now, guys, we do not have the iOS application. We have already built that application, but our application approval is pending from Apple, and we are just working out with them. They wanted some of the changes on the application, which we are doing right now. But very soon, we were hoping last time that we'll be done by now, but I think it will take a couple of more weeks and it will be done very soon. But if you have Android smartphones, tablets, you can download our application on those devices. But very soon we are going to come with the iOS application, because we know most of our audience, they use Apple. So I know that there are many Apple lover over here. Even I'm using iPhone. So that's not an issue, but very soon we are going to launch the iOS application. Remember one more thing, that your sessions are always going to be there on the application. Even if you want to access after 1 year or maybe 10 years, you will find your sessions always there on the mobile app. So you can download the mobile app and access it according to your use. Okay. So guys, ThinkCloudly also offers a program which is for kids. Now, it's very important that we are motivating all our kids, towards IT. IT is not just present, it is the future. You won't believe or not, it's gonna make your kids smarter even even in their academics. So if you want your kids to utilize their Saturday and Sunday, or if they have 1 hour of time in a day, they can always enroll for the kids program. It's going to be very, very helpful so that they know how computer actually works. You will be surprised to know that we we are not just training kids on the courses, but it is also that they will be able to develop their own computer games. So if you have anyone who is interested in your family or maybe your own kids, you can motivate them and they can join our kids course, which can really help them to code and build some good courses. Good games. So this is all of you guys. You can note it down and let us know if you are interested. The minimum age for kids is 7 years. If your kid is 7 year old, then it's quite okay and they can start the course with us. And I promise you that you will find the quality and you will find your kids smarter because they will know how to create a website, how to color a website, or maybe how to add a functionality like a text box, pop-ups, multiple things on the website. So let us know if you're interested. We offer this program and we keep only 1 or 2 students in one group because how I think everyone knows how difficult it is to handle the kids today, isn't it, everyone? So that's why yeah, that's why we keep a very small number of students in one group, because it's not easy to handle the kids. Okay, so guys, do let us know. Whosoever wants to avail the offer price of $449, you can choose any course and avail this special price so that you can gain some benefit and you can yeah. So yeah, the cost for the kids is again $449, guys. Just to tell you, it's $449 for kids and $449 for all the courses in this webinar. Do let us know and do refer your friends and avail $100. Okay, guys, let's move on. Let's move on to the important topic, which is like where I think most of you were really waiting for this. So it's actually 449 USD. The price is in USD, guys, just to inform all of you. And okay, let's start with the topic. So how many of you are excited to get a job in 45 days? Or how many of you think that it is possible to land a job in 45 days? Can you guys please let me know? Guys, let's make this session interactive because I promise you by the end of the session, you will know some tricks and hacks. Okay, you will know some procedure. So guys, please be interactive, make this session interactive. Everyone, 72 people who are on this call right now, everyone please use the chat window and let's make this session very interactive and let's learn something which no one knows out there. Okay. So how many of you married it? Okay, what about others? What about others? Like who thinks that it is quite possible to land a job in 45 days? Okay. So guys, let's start. Yes, it is possible to land a job. First of all, we have to accept this truth. Some of them or some of the students, they always come to me and say, Naman, it is not possible to land a job even in 6 months. And some of them says that it's not possible to get the job even 1 year. And you know what I say? it is possible to get a job even in 45 days. You know, how did I come to know about this? There was one student, her name is Esther. She was learning with us, and she proved before her program was actually over, 3 days before 3 days before her training got over, she landed the job. Can you imagine? Someone who is attending the program at ThinkCloudly, and that program is going to over in next 3 days, and she is pinging me that, Naman, I got the job. So she proved me that yes, it is possible in 45 days to land an IT job having no background in IT. She was a military nurse, and today she is working in IT. She is still in touch with me. And I'm very happy that, the lady who actually were making somewhere around $22-25 per hour, today she has completely transformed her life. So that's where we thought, let's have this webinar session. Let's make sure that our students, they have a proper strategy to follow before they actually start their career. Okay, that's why we wanted to have this. So guys, very first thing which I want you guys to tell you is that 45 days is not 45 days. So when I say that someone can get a job in 45 days, I don't say it's 45 days. Is it confusing? What do you think, guys? Is it confusing? So at the same time, I'm contradicting myself that, you can land a job in 45 days, but at the same time, I'm saying that you cannot get the job in 45 days. So when I say 45 days, it means 135 hours. Okay, guys, this is very important to be noted that you have to spend at least 135 hours in 45 days, which means you are spending at least 3 hours per day, which makes 135 hours. You know why? Because some people, because they are very busy, maybe at work. Some people, maybe they are occupied with their family stuff. Some people, they don't find it easy. They don't find it interesting. They complete their 135 hours maybe in 1 year. And that's why they get a job in 1 year. If we are promising ourselves that we have to land a job in 45 days, then we have to promise ourselves that no, I will get a job in 135 hours, which means at least I'm going to spend 3 hours every day, no matter where I'm busy, no matter what am I doing. But I have to make sure that I am at least spending 3 hours every day. I know it's not easy to say, but that's what the lady did. The same lady I'm talking about, that lady did the same job. She spent 3 hours of her day to make herself ready to land a job. Okay. Always remember, maybe out of 3 hours, your 1 hour. Okay. So how will we plan this 3 hours? Let me tell you. 1 hour, you have to attend the session wherever you have enrolled. Some people go to Udemy, some people come to ThinkCloudly, some people go to somewhere. Wherever you are attending the classes, at least dedicate 1 hour to a session. 1 hour, you need to practice. Please, this is very important. Some people think they will attend the session and they will get a job. Guys, we are at ThinkCloudly, we are someone who can guide you. We are someone who can train you. But only practice will make you perfect. Only practice will help you in the interview. And 1 hour, rest 1 hour, you have to spend on networking. I always emphasize networking. It's quite important that we are breaking these 3 hours. 1 hour, you attend a session. 1 hour, you do practice. 1 hour, you do networking. And when you do this consistently, you will find that within 45 days, you have transformed the whole career. So is it a matter of 45 days or is it a matter of 135 hours? What do you think, guys? Can anyone let me know in the chat box, please? What is the matter? Is it a matter of 135 hours or is it a matter of 45 days? Yes. So do you really think that someone can get a job in 45 days or someone can get a job in 135 hours? It's very important to note. Now, ask yourself a question. Whosoever is in the race to land that IT job, ask yourself a question. Do I actually invest did I actually invest 135 hours in my 45 days or in my last 45 days? Ask yourself if you have actually spent 3 hours of your time in a day, apart from your session, maybe on Saturday and Sunday. Did you think about your last weekend? Did you spend 6 hours of your time on learning new thing? Can someone say yes here? Can someone say no here? Did you spend 3 hours of your time? No, in your last weekend. This is where the problem is. Now, okay. So now every one of us has identified a problem that we have not spent 135 hours consistently. So that is the problem we have identified. So guys, do you understand the problem now? Can we work towards a plan and the solution? Are you ready to know the plan of 45 days? Okay, let's look at the plan of 45 days. So guys, we have to do a very simple step. Okay. Imagine this is your 45 days where you're promising yourself at least 3 hours per day, which makes 135 hours. Some people can ask a question to me that, Naman, because of family, because of work, I'm not able to give 3 hours per day. Guys, remember one thing, it's not just 3 hours per day. It's about 135 hours. If you couldn't spend 3 hours yesterday, try to increase the time today. If you couldn't spend 4 hours on the weekends or maybe 6 hours on the weekends, then try to accommodate that hours during the week. And that's when you will see the real benefit. So it's about 135 hours. Now, let's take a best case scenario and let's consider the timeline of 45 days. So in 15 days, in starting 15 days, we are going to divide this whole timeline into 3 parts. Part 1, part 2. This is also for 15 days. And the last part is again 15 days, which is part 3. Okay. So every part has 15 days. And this is how we are going to follow the timeline. Okay. Now, if I talk about part 1, so can anyone tell me what should we do in the part 1? Can anyone please tell me? Anyone? Can you guys please tell me in the chat box what should we do in the part 1? Okay. Now, the part 1 says, keep your resources ready. This is quite important. What does it mean? Which means that we are keeping ourselves ready. We are trying to make a habit. Okay. We are trying to make a habit of learning. First of all, we have enrolled somewhere. I would not say that you enroll with only ThinkCloudly. Maybe you are enrolled somewhere else, right? So you have to first make sure that you on the very first day you are going to enroll in a session, and that's when the day 1 starts. Guys, please do not believe on YouTube videos or Udemy videos. You guys might come from a non-IT background and you need an instructor to guide you. Udemy, YouTube, they don't give the liberty to ask questions. And that's when those people gives you recording. But how will you get the clarification? Who will tell you something in a more clarified way. So whenever you enroll in a session, your day one starts from there, but that has to be live session. Okay. So you have to enroll in the live session. Second, on the day one, you have to start building your notes. So can anyone tell me how many of you have a habit to write your notes? You know what? The notes which I prepared 12 years ago, I still have it with me, you know. And if in case I have my interview in next 2 days, I will look for that notebook, open that notebook and start reading my notes. So make sure that you are taking notes down, because when you understand something and when you put it in your own language and when you put it yourself, you will remember for life when you look at again. So make sure that your notes, you are putting down the notes properly, because notes are the real trick which are going to help you before the interview. Before the interview, you cannot go back and attend 40 hours of session. One day before, you cannot go back and listen to 40 hours of session. But what you can do, you can brush up your notes. And that's why you have to create a habit of notes building if you don't have it right now. After that, lab access. A lot of people, they start the training, they start the session, but they don't have the proper lab to practice. If you are doing a technical course, you need the lab access. If you don't have the lab access, you will struggle throughout the period. So your 45 days will start on that day when you have the lab access. Either you create your own lab or you ask someone, but have the lab access. After that, you have to create your profile on LinkedIn. Guys, this is quite important. You have to create your profile, because without profile, you might be sitting in a city of Calgary and you are in your home. No recruiter will know that pastor needs a job who is in Calgary. No one knows. You can let them know only with the help of profile. So the day one you join the program, you need to have the profile ready. And on the same day, you have to make sure that you start the networking. When I say networking, at least make 200 friends on LinkedIn in next 45 days. And make sure all of them are hiring managers. Because if you make your girlfriend a connection on LinkedIn profile, she might not be able to help you to land a job. You have to make sure that you are choosing the right connections on LinkedIn. So make sure you have a 200 connections on LinkedIn who all are hiring managers, who are hiring someone. If you're attending cybersecurity programs, those hiring managers are hiring people for cybersecurity. If you are looking for a job in cloud engineering, make sure those hiring managers are hiring people for cloud engineering, right? So those, you have to make your audience and you have to create the connections on LinkedIn, people who matter to you. Okay. I'll tell you why. I have a surprise for you, that why we need to create this hiring post. I'll tell you my own story, and I tried this method and it really worked. Okay. So this is the first thing, guys. So what is the first thing, guys? What are you going to do in part one? In 15 days, what are you going to do? Enrolled for live sessions. You will create a habit of note building. You will have the lab access, and you will do you will create your profile and do networking of hiring managers in your own domain. Does that make sense, everyone? Are you still with me? Everyone, do you guys agree with me that this is something which is quite important? Everyone. I think 2 people. What about others, everyone? What about others? Do you think this is something which is important? Okay. Now, in the next part, in the part two, in the part two, the part two is for intense learning. Intense learning and practicals. Guys, don't make a mistake. A lot of people, they make a mistake. They visit their friend home and the friend will tell Hey, why are you doing cybersecurity? Why don't you try project management? Hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And you started feeling that I made a mistake, that I chose this career path. I think I should have chosen something else. Please do not be in dilemma at all. And if someone tries to off track you, please do not get off track at all. Why? Everyone has their own choice. Everyone has seen the benefits in their own terms. In IT, every field has the same level of demand. You don't have to worry about. Just stick to something where you are. In the part 2, in next 15 days, you will create a habit of practice, practice, practice. Whatever you have learned so far, you're going to practice more and more. If your trainer has given you some labs, do that. If your trainer is talking about project management case studies, practice that. So make sure that you are putting yourself more and more into practice, and read more, attend the sessions again and again. Make sure you are doing practicals, enough practicals multiple times. Attend workshops. Okay. Download Spotify and listen to podcast. This is the intense learning. A lot of people, they join 1 hour session and think, I am good. No, that's not right. You have to make sure you are practicing. You are attending workshops regularly. You are listening to podcasts when you are driving to work. You are, if you are coming back to home and your session is over, you are practicing the lab again. You're watching the recording again. So that's what you have to do in the part 2. And that has to be consistent enough. If someone tries to say you are doing wrong, let them say that, because whatever you have chosen, that's the right path. So believe in yourself. That's very important. Also, explore tools. Okay. Explore tools. When I say explore tools, now is the time that you start exploring some job tools like Indeed, Monster, ZipRecruiter, Dice. So you have to explore those tools, but don't get frightened by the job description. Okay. Please do not get frightened at all because of job description. This is my request. Recruiter always want someone to be, to be like senior, to have like 25 years of experience, 30 years of experience. They never think that someone who has 5 years of experience or who is new to the market cannot have that experience. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So guys, please do not get frightened at all by looking at the job description. Just focus what you are learning. I promise you, you will land a job. Okay. There are 100 tools in the market. You do not need to know all the 100 tools. Master 5 tools, you will get a job. I don't know 100 tools. I know 5 tools, but I got a job. People like that, they never know 100 tools, but they are getting jobs. So don't get frightened by looking at the job description. Okay, let me ask you this question, guys. Have you ever got frightened when you looked at the job description? Was it scary? Anyone here? Did you ever look at the job description and it was scary? Anyone? Yes? Please, 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 please. Don't worry. Recruiter put a lot of information because they want to hire the best person. Okay. But it doesn't mean that you need to know a lot of things. Please. I was talking to Stephanie yesterday and I was explaining her the same thing. I get this question every day from the student and my answer is always same. Don't get frightened. Whatever you know, just know that, and I promise you, you will land a job. Okay. So what is the third step? Can everyone tell me, please? Can anyone tell me, please, what is the third step? What is the part 3? What should we do in last 15 days? Anyone? Okay. This is the time when you are going to improve your network and apply jobs. Okay. Hit the market, guys. Hit the market. You know what? A lot of people, they say that Naman, ThinkCloudly offers 7 weeks program and university is offering 2 years program. So when university cannot get a student a job, then how can ThinkCloudly help to land a job? I tell you one thing. ThinkCloudly focuses on something which makes you job ready. University focuses on some old traditional curriculum, which might not be helpful. Remember that, everyone, that you cannot compare these programs with university because they have different curriculum. Over here, we are focusing on something which requires in the market. We are coming directly from the market. Okay. So make sure that you don't have to worry about university degree. Trust me, guys, our students at ThinkCloudly, they had no degree. They had no bachelor's, but still they landed a job in Tesla. So your degree never matters. Only your skills matters. Try to gain as much as skills you want to gain. I promise you one day you will land a job because that's what industry demands. Okay. Industry does not require that paper which says that you have a 2 years degree. Industry demands skills, and that skills can be built in 7 weeks. Trust me. Emmanuel, who you might have heard him, right? He is the real reason. He's a real example in front of us. So make sure that in the last part, you are improving your network. You have to at least have 200 people in your network. All are the hiring managers. Okay. Okay. And what you have to do is, as I said, that reach out to recruiters, start applying jobs, no matter you know the technology or not, but start applying jobs, because let's not spend the time in learning. Let's hit the market and learn from interview. So we have to change the approach. We have to be interview ready, and we can be interview ready when we attend interviews. So change the approach, get into interviews, apply more and more jobs. Now I tell you, why did I tell you about having 200 hiring managers in your network? You know what happened with me? There was a time I was struggling to switch my job. I was switching from Microsoft. I wanted to get a new job. And I was just switching from Microsoft to a newer organization. So I was not getting calls, and it was a very depressed time. So what I did, I created this network of hiring managers on my LinkedIn profile. And you know what I did? I posted a post that I am looking for a job. I just posted a small message with all my skills, with my resume, and that I'm seeking a job. There were so many hiring managers who reached out to me. Even IBM is an organization. The hiring manager reached out to me and I got hired. Trust me, that really worked for me. So just like you, that really worked for me. So it can work for you as well. So why are you creating a network? So that when you are in a need after 45 days, you can reach out to people to whom you matter. Okay. So you have to post on LinkedIn that you are looking for a job. People out there will start reaching out to you, or they will like your post, and that will go in their network. So make sure that you are creating a network which will really help you. Okay. And you have to make sure that you are practicing again and again. So guys, do you guys think that these 45 days can be really helpful now? Everyone, do you guys think that it is going to be helpful? So hypolite, no one can get you fired from your current job, please. Okay, don't worry about that. If you are looking for a job, or if you're looking for a second job, it's not a crime. So no one can actually, kick you out of your current job. So don't worry about that. So be open to it. There is no problem at all, because there are so many people in the world, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Make sure that your managers are not not in your connections. That's all of your current position. Okay. So guys, was it helpful, everyone? Was it helpful, everyone? Can we see some hacks now? This is a hack time. Can we see some hacks now? Are you ready, everyone? Okay. So the first hack which we are going to discuss is going to be no experience filter. A lot of people, they come and say that, Naman, you know, I don't know. I don't have any experience. How will I find the job? Let me show you something. Okay, let me show you something. So I'll go to Google. Okay, and I'm gonna search cloud engineer job. Okay, I'm gonna search this. And over here, I'll go and click on 100 more jobs. And if you see over here, if you go to requirements, no experience. Now you will find all the jobs which does not require any experience. Okay, go and apply on these jobs. This is the first hack. If you don't have degree, click on no degree, and you can see. This is the best way to find a job. You can also add this filter of under 3 years of experience, because if you attend the training with us, I'm very sure that you will have the equivalent experience of 3 years, because we are going to train you on 4 or 5 projects, which will really help you. So you can choose these options and it will help you no matter what experience you have. But try this option on Google. Google has its own job search platform. Try and search. Just type your let's say project manager. Type here project manager. Okay, and click on top 100 plus jobs. Go to requirements. Click on no experience, and you will find the jobs. Is it helpful, everyone? Will you try this? Everyone? Yeah? Okay. Next. You know, the problem with LinkedIn, what is the problem with LinkedIn? You know, if any recruiter, they post a job on LinkedIn that gets hit by maybe hundreds of people and 100 of applicants. And when you apply your own job, this is your job, you get into crowded, and there are chances that you will not be able to get selected or shortlisted. Do you think it's a pain that when you apply for a job, there can be 100 applicants? Do you think it's a pain, everyone? What do you think, guys? That if there are 100 applicants and then if you apply, can you be lost? Yes. Now, so what you have to do is, there is a hack. Let me show you one. So let's go to LinkedIn and see a hack that how can we deal with this problem. So let's go to LinkedIn and let's search for a job. Okay, now click on jobs. And when you click on jobs, cloud engineer in United States, okay, click on easy apply, click on all filters, scroll down, and there will be an option of under 10 applicants. You see here? So I have 626 results in front of me. It means I can apply at 626 I can apply 626 applications where there are only less than 100 people who have applied so far. You can see 0 applicants, right? That will keep you out of the crowded market. No one actually knows this. So guys, go and use this. This is going to be very helpful. Okay, apply jobs which are under 10 applicants. Reach out to the recruiter as soon as possible. This is going to be really helpful. Okay, let me show you again. Do you want to see it again, everyone? So go to linkedin.com, search the job. Let's say I want to search a project management job, manager job. When you search something over here, click on jobs. When you click on jobs, Now over here, you have to click on easy apply. And now click on all filters. If you scroll down, you will find an option of under 10 applicants. You can see there are 3,000 job opportunities where people have not even applied. Can you see that? 5 applicants, 8 applicants. Can you see that? So what you're trying to do, you're actually trying to get into a market which is less crowded. Do you think it's helpful, everyone? Are you going to try this, everyone? What do you think? Do you want to know one more hack? I just want to see the response in the chat if you really want to say it. Otherwise, I can keep it for the next time. So easy apply. Under 10 applicants, we have seen it, right? Now the third hack. Let's see the third hack. So whenever you have your LinkedIn profile, right? Go to your LinkedIn profile, go to your profile. So I'm on my profile here. And now what I can do is I can just click on more and click on build a resume. Okay, let me tell you what this hack does. This hack will tell you what are the keywords which are missing in your profile. Many people, they don't know what are the keywords they are missing, right? So only expert knows. So this is a method where you will learn what are the missing keywords in your profile, in your LinkedIn profile. Okay. So when you visit your profile, click on more, click on build a resume, and click on create from profile. And whatever job you are trying to search, let's say you are trying to search cloud engineer, and click on apply. Now, over here on the right side, it will give you all the required skills or the keywords which recruiters are looking for. Linux, Python, Java. If you subscribe to Premium, LinkedIn Premium, you will get 11 more keywords. Are you getting my point? This is where, out there, recruiters are looking for the keywords. This is how. So this is going to be very helpful because see, my LinkedIn profile has cloud computing, AWS, Azure, SQL, JavaScript, leadership, communication. But my LinkedIn profile, unfortunately, does not have these 3 keywords or 4 keywords. Or maybe I can see more if I take the premium. So that's where premium is helpful. So guys, this is very helpful. Generally, we do, because as a student, we might not know what keywords are trending in the market as of now. Maybe my role is different, but I don't know the keywords. This is where LinkedIn can really help you. So are you going to try this hack as well, everyone? Are you going to try this hack to find the right keywords before you search the job? Awesome. So right keywords is quite important to search a job. Okay. So guys, I'm done. I hope this session was helpful. Did you like the session, everyone? Okay.
And now let's gear up yourself because now it's the time for the quiz. Now we have came across a very exciting time, like it's the exciting time of the session. So now what you have to do for the quiz is that you can just scan the QR code or we'll be providing you the link in the chat box so that you can have the access for the quiz. And whosoever will be the winner, they'll get a course for free. And the questions, there would be 5 questions in the quiz, and you'll get 30 seconds for each question. And you can't change your answer once it's marked. And the winner will be the one who will get higher score at the lesser time. So everyone, you can just join through the scan. You can just join through the QR code, and already we have given the link in the chat box, so you can join that.
Guys, the winner, one lucky winner will get the course worth $400. Okay, so remember that.
All right, so now we're starting with a quiz. Everyone, please pay attention towards it. Let's see who will be the lucky winner for today. All right, so we came across with the first question that is live now. So everyone, please do remember that the winner will be the one who will score highest in the less time. So please be attentive. Guys, the second last question is live now. All right, so the last one is live. We are very much close towards the winner. All right, so we have got the winners for today's quiz. That is Olu. Congratulations, Olu. Everyone, please congratulate him in the chat box.
Olu, please let us know which program you are interested. Just reach out to us directly, and we can take a look. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Now we have came across a Q&A session. So everyone, please let us know that if you have any doubt, you have any question, so you can just ask in the chat box. Please feel free to ask in the chat box. And if you want the access of the webinar recordings, then in 2 or 3 working days, you'll get the videos on our YouTube handle. And also, if you have any sort of feedback that you would like to give to ThinkCloudly so that we can come next time and we'll improve better, so please let us know for once. So everyone, please let us know in the chat box if you have any sort of question. And also thank you so much for joining today's webinar. And I hope that it was helpful for you, and we were able to provide you the knowledge, and I hope that was useful as well. So if you have any sort of feedback that can help ThinkCloudly to improve much better, or like any sort of topic that you would like to tell us so that next time we can come at that particular topic, or any sort of feedback, or you're interested for any course, then do let us know in the chat box.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Diksha. Thank you, team, for making it successful. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Switch from non-IT to IT today. Explore www.thinkcloudly.com.